The play is entitled Wombman, and it's about 4 girls that we actually follow from their childhood to their adulthood, and we deal with some of the issues that a lot of women deal with, you know, as far as feeling unworthy, insecure, issues with abandonment, self-love, and we try to follow them and make some resolution where women start to love themselves ultimately. Well, there's a thing that had been on my mind. I talked about it actually an opening night. And I have 6 children. And a long time ago, I took a teddy bear and I told them that they were the teddy bear, and we took a video box. And I told them this world was the box. And I told them that the world would try to stuff them in the box. We tried to stuff the teddy bear in the box, and the teddy bear wouldn't fit. So I told them that they are greater than any box that the world could ever put them in. And then I started thinking about it in terms of us as human beings, especially as women with labels. We're greater than any box of labels that anyone could ever put us in. So my first image before even doing the play was this woman cutting her way outside the box of other people's expectations. And then from there, the play just went on. I wrote it in 2 days. And to be honest, I had not expected on doing it so fast. I wrote it. I sent it out to a few friends and family, sent it out to Tamika Petrie, who is our producer, and people loved it, and men loved it. I had a few of my friends' husbands call me because they could also find themselves in some of the subject matter. And Mika's like, Evie, we need to do this. It needs to be shared, and it just kind of spun from there. Before I do that, I do want to go over the title Wombman, because it's spelled womb, W-O-M-B-M-A-N, and that was really important to me because we are the womb of men. We carry life, and that is one of the most beautiful things that any individual could ever be able to do. And we need to be respected more, but not only that, we need to love ourselves more. And I wanted to use that because I wanted people to get into the habit of thinking woman instead of woman. It's woman. It's the womb of man. The characters actually were developed. Maya came from little black girls, and I was one of those little black girls. You know, I grew up in the 70s, and in the 70s on TV and media, there was usually just white women. I did not see images of myself. And we grow up thinking, okay, to have kinky hair is a bad thing. I hate that theory, good hair, bad hair. There's no such thing as good hair, bad hair. And we grow up, and if every black girl is honest, especially with darker skin, they always want to be something other than what they are. I have a cousin who's beautiful and chocolate, and one of her issues is, to this day, people go, oh, you're really pretty for a dark girl. Why can't she just be a pretty girl? Why does she have to be pretty to be a dark girl? And so I wanted to just straight out bring those issues to the stage. And that's what I do with Maya. She has issues with having full lips, kinky short hair, the kids at school making fun of her, you know, saying that she's too dark. And we have to start to show our little girls that their beauty does not exist in, well, number one, physical features, period. You know, but regardless of those physical features, they're beautiful just the way they are. It doesn't matter how light or dark their skin is, how short, kinky, straight their hair is. They are beauty in their own matter because they're all unique. And so I tried to go over that with Maya, with the character of Maya. Also, what we learn, especially as black girls, you know, if our parents don't know any better, we grow up not wanting to be like our parents, not wanting to look like our mom. And I think it's important that we address those things, you know, and my goal was to make people uncomfortable. I'm pretty sure some people got a little pissed off, but that's what I wanted to do because these are things that really happen in real life. As far as Anna was first generation Mexican American, and one of the issues with Anna was tradition. You know, her mother wanted her to fall into the tradition of, you know, being a wife and being a mother at the expense even of being abused because her mother didn't see anything with it. And just like the perfect victim never sees anything wrong because they always think that it's their fault. And I took Anna out of the traditional role to the extreme to make her have a lesbian experience. And that was just because we have to be honest, lesbianism exists. And so I needed to address those issues as well. Also, Anna's issue was, one of the most important things is that a lot of times we reflect what we are. And Anna felt no worth. She didn't have any self-worth. So the people that she brought into her life didn't feel any worth towards her either. And until we start to feel worthy of ourselves, and until we start to really make decisions that maybe it's not other people, maybe it's us, especially if we keep choosing those type of people, because her female lover was also abusive. As far as Vanessa, I really wanted to deal with the role of abandonment, and that was her issue. Her father walked away, got remarried, had a new family, and basically just left her and her mother behind. But Vanessa, all these girls, their faces could be anybody's faces. And I wanted to deal with those issues of abandonment, being insecure. Vanessa, for the most part, only dated black men because white men reminded her of her father. So she had to deal with her own issues of self-hate as well. Then we have Iman, who's the biracial child. And I wanted to deal with Iman because I have a biracial child. My daughter is actually black and Hispanic. And she came home one day and she said, "Mommy, where do I fit in?" And she said, "I'm not black enough for the black kids. I'm not Hispanic enough for the Hispanic kids, and the white kids think I'm crazy." And ironically, my daughter is very militant and can be somewhat racist. She's like militia. When it comes to black power, tries to wear an afro and she can't even wear an afro. Her hair's too curly. And I wanted to address these issues because even for a biracial child, they have to learn to love themselves and have acceptance regardless. And I think parents are responsible for that. And I try to work with the girls and their issues all the way around and let them see that the most beautiful thing that you can have is love for self. And when you have that, then you're able to love others. It was wonderful, although I know a lot of them were a little afraid. They were like, "Evie, we all look bad in this scene. Where's the good guys?" And ironically, there were a couple of good guys. One of Randy actually at the last minute kind of backed out, so we had to delete his scene. But we talk about Randy because Vanessa, at some point, she does find love with her own race. Maya finds love with the black doctor. But we can't pretend like these things don't exist. We can't pretend like abuse doesn't exist. Whether it's verbal, physical, emotional, it does exist. And I think it's important for us to address those issues. And I appreciate the men for taking on these roles because they took these roles knowing the audience would more than likely hate most of them. My mom said yesterday, "I wanted to kick Jose's ass." That was Hannah's father. But, I'm working on one for men because I think men fall in the same category of having labels put on them, having to stand up to a certain stereotype. I have 4 boys. Well, I have 6 children total, 4 of which are boys. And there's this theory that men don't cry. And I had to tell my boys that crying is a human emotion, not a female emotion. And I want to deal with those issues, and that play will be titled Man Up. So there's one coming for the men, too. We're going to break it down. Okay. Well, I've known Tamika for a couple of years now. And, we've had our sister talks. We've cried together, laughed together. And I was just giving it to her to read to get her input on it. I wanted some creative criticism. And she called me up with her sister. She's like, "Girl, we love this." She told me she hadn't been able to put it down. And she was actually on vacation. And when she came back, she's like, "We have to do this." And I'm like, "But Mika, I don't have any money. How are we going to get actors?" She's like, "Girl, when people love doing stuff, they'll do it." And she's like, "You're a poet. How many times have you done things for free?" Because there's a passion for it. And we can work out all the other details later. And basically, that's what we did. We started putting ads out. And I really appreciate Mika for, believing in me, believing in my vision, believing in my words, believing that there's something that I have to share with the world in hopes of healing. That's really what this is all about. I'm hoping there's a process for people to go home and to think about these things and think about what's going on in their life and start the process for healing.